Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is good old MF Michael Flecha alongside Anthony the Hitman Florio, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. We definitely got a lot to talk about tonight for first SmackDown Live, and we're gonna recap what we just witnessed just minutes ago here tonight. Um, I gotta say this was a decent show. Not bad, not great though. Definitely SmackDown got a little areas they got to work on, but I think all in all, okay for the night. There is something on the Mikey's mindset that Anthony and myself need to get our something off our chest, and we're gonna do that tonight. A major incident that happened over the weekend, as many of you guys know, in Mexico was Triplemania 25, which is Triplemania 25, which is the biggest event of the year for AAA promotion in Mexico. But a match that went down has caused a lot of nuclear heat all over the wrestling world and has gotten, and it brings a little bit of Lucha Underground and Anthony's TNA slash GFW, and it brought our worlds together in a very disgusting, despicable act. Myself and Anthony Florio are gonna wrap our hands around it and give you guys what went down with exclusive thoughts and also some responses from certain superstars in the wrestling world as well. So if this is gonna be probably one of the most highly, and maybe you might have to batten down the hatches, guys. I'm going to be warning you right now because, especially when we get to the Mikey's mindset, I don't know how volatile it'll get. I'm just putting it out there. Normally, I always say the TV-14 label is on our show. Tonight, we might be pushing it to the razor's edge when we get to that moment. But with that, we start off SmackDown Live from Little Rock, Arkansas, with a promo by the reigning, defending WWE Champion Jinder Mahal. Gets interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, and Rusev. It was a complete and utter Donnybrook that breaks out at the end. And oddly enough, that's our main event for the evening tonight. But let's talk about the segment. All right. Segment alone, I think it was okay. It was solid. It was all right for what it was worth. Yeah, I understand it. I know a lot of people were giving a little bit of the slam on Jinder Mahal, how it was very robotic, how it was very substandard. It's the typical Jinder Mahal promo that you expect, week in and week out. Very anti-American, the whole 9 yards. But then the Singh brothers come out and they're like that, look, we humiliated you. We embarrassed you. Nakamura put the Kinshasa on you a week ago on SmackDown Live, and we feel bad. We feel like that was our fault. We not only embarrassed you, but we embarrassed the country of India. We embarrassed all of Asia. We embarrassed our family, our ancestors. We embarrassed them all. We should be protecting you. You're our modern day Maharaja. You are the WWE champion. You are the greatest representation of India at this moment. And we let a Japanese evil man, now that's what the Singh brothers are basically claiming, that a Japanese evil man put his hands on royalty, which is the modern day Maharaja Jinder Mahal. All right. And they were going to do the ultimate, I guess it's their way of showing their allegiance by kissing the feet of Jinder Mahal. Now, they were about to do it before Shinsuke Nakamura came out. Then Nakamura comes out, pushes the Singh brothers away, and a Donnybrook ensues with Jinder and with Nakamura. 3-on-1 beatdown commences, promises Randy Orton to come out. Next thing you know, the numbers game are 3-on-2. Looks like the faces are starting to get a little bit of ahead. Rusev Botria, Rusev Mashka, Rusev crushes Orton with a kick to the face. Ouch. Orton goes down in a heap, turns into a 4-on-2 beatdown, and the lasting image is the faces gets destroyed by the heels as Jinder Mahal puts the exclamation point. That camel clutch slam eliminates Shinsuke Nakamura right in the center of the ring. I mean, look, if that's how it's supposed to be done, this was good. This was well done, beautifully written. I didn't care much about the promo, but the after stuff into the seeds of, my goodness, what a match this is going to be for later on tonight. Something that I know all four of us can get around and say, hey, this was pretty solid. Promo, bleh. But the rest of the stuff I thought was well done. And as always, SmackDown Live does something that they've always done to the T, storyline progression. They nailed it on this one. All right, Anthony Florio, come on in. Give me your thoughts about the opening segment on SmackDown Live tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. There was not much to love about that opening segment because Jinder Mahal gave another gravely redundant promo, and the physicality, as good as it was, wasn't really able to save that or overcome that. I mean, I've been very critical of Mahal's promos, and everybody talks about how Roman Reigns can't cut a promo to save his life. Jinder Mahal can't cut a promo to save his life. Honest to goodness. I'll give you that. I mean, the promo was not all that good, and I just backed you up on that. But the physicality, though, setting up the tag team main event, though, that was good. I'll give him that. So, and it set up for that interest for a very interesting main event, including on the babyface side of things, a humongous main event for next Tuesday night on SmackDown Live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is going to be the biggest match for the people in the city of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. When was the last time South Dakota hosted a match of that magnitude? That's a match you would get in maybe Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center or something like that. But Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you're getting a humongous match that MF's going to tell you all about when the time is right. And believe me, after what we saw just a few minutes ago, as we ended the show, I'm surprised MF is maintaining his composure right now, because I mean, I know once we get to that big moment, he's gonna have a lot of fun with it. Believe me. So, all right, nothing more to say on that. So by default, it was the segment of the night, honestly. But even though the promo was terrible, the action though, that was much better. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. We're coming off another one of our SmackDown Live chats, and yeah, needless to say, we had a little bit of fun with this.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun with this. I mean, the promo with the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal, I could pretty much care less for. But what happened afterward, I mean, with everything that went down, I mean, I thought was much better. I mean, with Shinsuke Nakamura coming out and looked like he was going to get the upper hand on both Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, but the Singh brothers basically held the legs down, and that's when to their side this prompted Randy Orton to come out, and it looked like the faces were going to go over here, but Rusev comes out and basically kicks Randy Orton right in the jaw. That's there. It's definitely a good storyline progression and definitely a good for tonight's main event, which it's Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura against Jinder Mahal and Rusev. So, yeah, by default, this to me was the segment of the night. But even though the promo segment I could care less about, but afterwards I enjoyed it. So, Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, come on in. Give us your thoughts on this segment to start off SmackDown Live.
Oh boy. It was okay. Not great. Getting tired of listening to Jinder. I definitely agree with Anthony. You've got two guys who can't sing on the two different shows, and now you also have two guys that can't cut promos on the two shows. Jinder, if I had to compare Jinder to Roman Reigns, I'd say Roman Reigns can cut a better promo than Jinder Mahal. But man, I saw the opening segment with the Singh brothers standing there, and the first thing I thought was, oh Lord, that we're going to have another one of these segments. And, I didn't like it one bit. I guess, I'll agree by default. I guess it was the segment of the night, but I was not real thrilled about it because it was just another boring segment where you have the Singh brothers worshiping Jinder Mahal talking nonsense that nobody can understand because he doesn't know what he's saying out there, and then everybody coming out and attacking everybody. I mean, whoopee. Not much more to say about it. Move on.
I disagree with all three of you about the segment of the night. That was not it. Completely, flat out, no way, no how. All three of you got this wrong. There was something a little bit later in the night. That was a segment of the night, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, I don't know if this segment or not. I just don't like the segment, so we'll just leave it at that.
No, I'll get.
Right?
What?
The Kevin Owens thing, right? That was technically a segment, I guess.
That was technically a segment. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You could count that as a.
Retract that prior statement.
Oh yeah. I have to retract it too because I completely forgot about that.
Because that technically was considered a segment more than anything else. So yeah, that's not a 2-for-1 or anything else. That was a separate thing on its own. But like I said, we'll get into it. Well, this was one of those big moments we were talking about from last week's SmackDown to tonight's show. Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin making their tag team debut. First time they're working as a team. Connor and Victor of the Ascension. The winners at 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. They get the victory. So, Anthony Florio, give me your thoughts about this.
Solid 2 stars for the effort. Yeah. We had that split screen commercial break during it, which definitely helped it. Let me see. Benjamin and Gable, they have some things to work out when it comes to chemistry and timing, but I do see a lot of promise here. It's too early to tell where they will take this from a story perspective, but there's definitely plenty to like about it. Meanwhile, the Ascension continues to be a part of, as Derek Ferreira calls it, the burial club. I mean, once upon a time, and Bullock, I told you this during our SmackDown chat, and I know you'll back me up like you always do. Once upon a time, the Ascension were the most dominant tag team in NXT. I believe they held the tag team titles of NXT longer than any tag team in history. And you know, they debut at the 2015 Royal Rumble. They put them over one of the greatest tag teams of all time, the New Age Outlaws. And since then, what have they done for us? Nothing. So it's a damn shame because those guys were so fun to watch in NXT, especially when they were the tag team champions. And now they're nothing but glorified jobbers. And that's really sad. Really sad. Those guys deserve way better. That's all I can say on that. So that's just a personal thing I had to get off my chest. But I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. And like I said, they do have some chemistry and timing issues to work out, Gable and Benjamin, but I'm intrigued to see where it goes. And I think it definitely has some promise. And who knows, maybe sometime down the road, maybe they could be SmackDown Tag Team Champions, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Gable knows what it's like. He's been there before. So has Shelton, you know, when he was with Charlie Haas as part of Team Angle / the world's greatest tag team. So we'll see what happens. So I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. Michael Bullock, I believe you gave this 2 stars when we did our SmackDown chat, right?
Yeah, I did. I gave it 2 stars, and that's why I'm sticking with it. I'm giving it 2 stars here. I mean, yeah, I mean, they look good as with their first match as a tag team. I mean, I know it's a work in progress. I mean, this is like their first match as a tag team. Give them some time here, and who knows? Somewhere down the line, they'll start to gel, and maybe a SmackDown tag team champions. And yeah, the Ascension. I mean, once upon a time, they were probably they were the longest reigning tag team champs in NXT history, and now there's just nothing more but glorified jobbers. And that's a damn shame. So, and I'll tell you this right now, Shelton Benjamin, he showed he still got it, even at the age of 42. Which, and I'll be quite honest, he doesn't look a bit like he's 42, especially with some of the aerial maneuvers he can still pull. So. Yeah, so 2 stars for the effort. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll agree. 2 stars for the effort. Not much more to say about it because y'all kind of covered it all. So, Fledge, is yours.
Solid 2 stars. Definitely, you guys definitely nailed it. First night out, not bad. I mean, I'll give it at least a B+ for performance for Sheldon Benjamin and Chad Gable working as a cohesive tag team. I do believe that, you know, give them some seasoning, give them some time. I think they'll get better and better, and maybe you give them the opportunity sooner rather than later. Even though I know the Usos and the New Days got another program, set it up, and actually there was a big fight tonight that actually was going to be the stipulation for the tag team title match. And there's also something I need to get into about a legit injury. Yes, I know you guys kind of noticed Xavier Woods was hobbling a little bit. What happened? How did that happen? I'll give that to you guys in just a little bit. All right. So, next thing we had was the AJ Styles Open Invitational Battle for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Now, in a backstage segment, Renee Young was talking to Baron Corbin, and Corbin basically was saying that I'm going to get the opportunity, you know, now that the Open Challenge is here, I'm going to cash it in. I'm going to go after AJ Styles. I'm going to be the guy that's going to do it. Well, AJ comes out, basically says, you know, I'm glad that now I don't have to deal with Kevin Owens anymore. That means we can reopen this Open Challenge, and we can do, you know, get the job done. And you wanna fight the champ? Yo, here I am. Come on down and let's see who steps up. To the shock of everybody, the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger came out. Technically, it looked like he was going to be the one to get it. Then Corbin comes out, beats up on Dillinger, saying, "Hey, I was supposed to, you know, I called for the shot, you know, and was going to jump on the apron and interfere." Well, then Dillinger hits Corbin, knocks him off the apron, tells the referee, ring the bell. Do it, quick, quick, quick. The bell rings. Dillinger gets the opportunity. Dillinger fights AJ Styles. AJ Styles successfully defends the title in less than 2 minutes. Calf killer, tap out victory. Then, after the fight, Dillinger gets thrown into the barricade. He tries to attack AJ Styles after the match. Well, AJ basically drops Baron Corbin. Corbin is pissed at that because, you know, I have to wait another week for another opportunity. Michael Bullock, it's all yours, my friend.
Unfortunately, I have to give this an absolute dud here. Yeah, I mean, it was a short match. I mean, the amount of time. So, yeah, I mean, eventually, I think we're definitely getting a feud with AJ Styles and Baron Corbin after what we saw here tonight. So, nothing else to say. Dud. Just go.
No rating. So move on.
Yeah, same for me.
Unfortunate. That's the way that the Open Challenge has to start out. Very auspicious start. Not what we were hoping for. Well, the reason why was because Baron Corbin ruined it. He became that pariah, became that knucklehead. If this was a straight up fight, AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger, this would have been all kinds of awesomeness. But because Corbin sticks his nose where it didn't belong, he ruined the fight. Unfortunately for all of us, we all suffered through that. Nothing more to say. Let's just move on. Next thing we had, well, all right. I'm going to open this to you guys. Do you want to call this a cutout? I know on SmackDown Live we never do, but Bobby Roode versus Mike Canales. Roode wins it in about 3 minutes. I'll say it like this. This is a showcase fight. This was a showcase fight for Bobby Roode. Another great performance. I'm going to save you guys. I know you guys will probably say NA or whatever. So, showcase fight for Bobby Roode. Nice performance. Again, Mike Canales gets buried by WWE brass. So, nothing more to say. We're going to dive right into what I believe.
Actually, Flecha, I want to chime in. I mean, because since I wasn't here last week, I want to talk about Bobby Roode for just a moment.
Very well. It's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is basically a showcase fight for Bobby Roode because he's just getting his feet wet on the main roster, and I'll tell you this right now. I mean, Fletch, you and Florio know more about Bobby Roode than I do, but I'll tell you this right now. I'm already impressed with this, with Bobby Roode. I've seen some of his matches in NXT, especially with the one he had with Drew McIntyre, and I think he looks really good, and I'm impressed with him, and I'll tell you this right now, and I'll even go as far as to say, I think he'll be a future WWE champion.
Amen to
that. Definitely not this year, but I'll say maybe sometime next year. I mean, you continue to push this guy, he will be a future WWE champion down the line.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so just wanted to give my quick 2 cents on Bobby Roode. And you know what? And
I want to just add in a quick 2 cents on this.
And before I do that, this match against him was glorious.
Yes, and yes, indeed, it was a squash all the way. But and Bullock, you told me that the reason why they're pushing him as a babyface is because the fans just love his glorious entrance, and why not? I mean, it's made him an IWC staple.
How can you not enjoy that entrance?
Longest running TNA heavyweight champion of all time, 251 days, surpassing AJ Styles. Fortune 4 guys throw it up, and just a quick little story, MF. When Bullock and I had our SmackDown chat tonight, I mean, we were thinking, we were saying this: if Bobby Roode had shown up for AJ's Open Challenge, we would have marked, because I mean, we would have thrown it up Fortune 4 style, because those two guys were part of the Fortune 4. And but anyways, I agree with everything Bullock said, and it was a no rating to a dud, absolutely. And right now, my heart goes out to Mike Kanellis, because I'm sure you heard Mike Kanellis is slowly but surely begun the process of rehabbing, because he's been battling an addiction to prescription medication. And I definitely want to give my heart. I didn't want to send out my thoughts and prayers to him and Maria during a very difficult time, and I'm surprised he even worked. So good for him. Let's move on.
I'll even go openly about this, and it's a good thing you brought that up, Anthony. He's been dealing with that for a couple of years now, and it actually stems back to the knee injury that he suffered back in Ring of Honor. And actually, there was a story that was reported, and this was at a legit website, not a dirt sheet, nothing out of one of those. It was a reputable, legitimate reporter. And Mike Kanellis confided that that he was going through some painkiller issues, and the thing was that about it. Only it was him. Maria was out of the loop. Everybody in professional wrestling was out of the loop. XWA, Ring of Honor, what have you. He basically kept it to himself, this addiction, until it got so bad that basically he had to come out and say that I'm dealing with this issue. I've been dealing with this problem for a little bit. I know some people were questioning the timing of it because of the fact that he wasn't really delivering in WWE and the whole 9 yards. And now people are thinking that this painkiller thing was, how convenient that this is coming out at this point in time. And this is where I kind of have to get a little angry here, because even though I don't know Mike Kanellis by person, like legitimately know him, I know a few people that does know him personally. And I really took a lot of offense by all you IWC knuckleheads out there, to take that kind of angle and to go at Mike Kanellis in the way that you have. I think that's despicable. I think that is deplorable. And for anybody in IWC land who kind of would condescending about it, you just have no soul. You got no morality whatsoever. And basically you can go dive in a cave for all I care. All right. With that aside,
yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe they need to be put in a shark cage and be, or better than that, maybe I should bury their asses for making such disparagable remarks.
Like I said, it's the IWC. I mean, they're a bunch of vultures anyway. They don't give a damn about anything or anyone. Wanna basically validate themselves. They think that they know about professional wrestling, where deep down inside, and I think I'll openly admit this, and I do apologize ahead of time for what I'm about to say, because this is a TV-14 show, but they don't know shit about wrestling. I actually know. No, but honestly, and I'm being real honest, I know because I actually got to go behind the velvet rope. I got to see the inner workings of professional wrestling because certain people in that world. So for me, I take this more seriously than all three of you guys combined. Yes, Michael Bullock, Didi Woodson, Anthony Florio, we all have been in that world of professional wrestling. Some of us have been there longer than others. We kind of know what goes down. But I got a little more deeper. I actually got a little more than maybe the three of you. just a little more. Not by much, but I got to see the inner workings of it. I got to see what they do. Wrestlers have to put their bodies through, what they do, the training. I actually, when I did those 3 interviews with those RWA superstars, Jack Connor, Asana, and at the time Triple-Licious, who's now gone on to Chaotic Wrestling and some other big promotions in Rhode Island. They let me in that world. And for me, I take that with more than honor, more than privilege. What they did for me and giving me that kind of access, that kind of platform is something that none of us are supposed to have. So for me to get that, I treasure it, I appreciate it, and for what these wrestlers have to go through to keep their bodies at the tip-top shape that they have to, or what they need to do when an injury occurs, I take that a lot more serious than anything else. So that I rather end the rant there, and let's just get back to the business at hand. All right. So the next thing we had was basically Aiden English was about to sing again, which is going to make Dee Dee Woodson basically roll her eyes or near his bathroom, basically, so that she could just, well, do some business. But then Kevin Owens showed up. Says that these Arkansas Hayseeds couldn't appreciate his talent, but out of respect, please leave the ring because I got a bone to pick. And in English agrees. He's like, all right, I like you, I respect you, and because you think that I am like Pavarotti, Andrea Bocelli, and yes, for Anthony, Robert Goulet, and I'll let you have your moment. And he goes on and starts ripping on Shane McMahon, basically saying, you know what? If I remember about a year ago, I was the Universal Champion and Stephanie McMahon would never abuse her power. Then basically calls SmackDown a joke, that this is not the land of opportunity, that this is Shane McMahon's personal playground. All right, Owens, you're pissing me off now. To talk about Shane McMahon. All right, fine. Whatever. I'll give you that. But then you take a swipe at SmackDown Live. You know I bleed blue and white. Team Blue for SmackDown Live. When you start ripping on about SmackDown Live, that's when you piss me off. And Owens, if you feel that way, then why don't you send your ass back to Monday Night Raw and get thrown back into the mid-card hell. So, no, I was pissed when I heard this. I'll bet you Anthony Florio was probably grinning like a Cheshire cat, going, ha, look at Kevin Owens disparaging about SmackDown Live. Michael Flecha must be furious right now somewhere in East Providence, Rhode Island. You're damn right.
I'll tell you this.
I was angry.
I'll tell you this. I mean, I was bleeding a little bit of that blue, too, especially since you and I went to the show about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, Shane McMahon comes out and he's like, he basically gives a reality check to Kevin Owens, and he says, you know what? I'm sorry, but that's the way it's gonna go. You lost the fight. You're not getting another shot at the United States title in the full-scale meltdown mode. We'll get into the fight in just a minute, but this segment was the segment of the night. Despite what Owens said about SmackDown Live, I'll let you live for 1 week, Owens. And I'm coming down wherever the hell you are, and I'm kicking your ass. Dee Dee Woodson, it's all yours, my love. You get to lead off on this.
Oh, goody. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's no secret. I don't like Aiden English, and I don't like Elias Sampson because, for one, why do we have these idiots out here singing in the middle of the ring or playing guitar or whatever? I mean, didn't that go out a long time ago with the Honky Tonk Man? I mean, come on. We don't need that because it's basically a slowdown point, and it just there's no storyline for them to do that. And then you have Kevin Owens, which I was thankful for him to interrupt English, but here we have him out here belly aching. Come on, dude, grow a set and stop belly aching. I mean, you're about as bad as watching Alexa Bliss lay there in the middle of the ring and throw her 2-year-old temper tantrum in the middle of a match. I mean, come on. Are you a man or are you a child? I mean, grow up. You've lost your chance. And I definitely agree with Fletch. I mean, there's just no call for someone like Kevin Owens putting down SmackDown Live, which is happens to be the show he actually works on. I mean, come on. There's just no place for it. Yes, it was a segment of the night, definitely, compared to the rest of the segments, but no, Kevin Owens just, I think, ticked off a lot of people with his sentiment, and definitely I hope Shane deals with him and takes care of business for all it's worth with this. So not much more I have to say about it. So Florio, it's yours.
Oh man, I don't know how to follow that. I'll try. Well, a year ago tonight, Kevin Owens won the Universal Championship. We all remember that. One of the greatest ridiculously raw shows we ever did. We had a lot of fun during that show. And but a year later, Kevin Owens whining and crying like a little boy, and who doesn't get his way in the whole 9 yards. We've all been there, and well, some might like Owens losing his mind. I kind of don't. I mean, but are we going to see Owens run through a cadre of struggling SmackDown babyfaces on his way to an eventual match with Shane O'Mac? I mean, if so, how is that a positive for the brand overall? I mean, yeah, as a heel commentator, I would have absolutely had a lot of fun with this. I mean, for one, Kevin Owens ripped SmackDown Live. I enjoyed that as a Raw guy, I will admit it. And number two, even though the match was officially extracted from the record books by Shane O'Mac afterwards, I would have said, "Whoa, big win for Aiden English, big win." I would have absolutely had a lot of fun with that, and MF would have done his gorilla and would have done the, "Oh, you get like, will you be serious?" Like, I am being serious, and Bullock would have gone on his usual Byron Saxton run. So yeah, and Bullock and we had a lot of fun with this during our SmackDown chat. I mean, especially after some time ago on Twitter, Michael Bullock's uncle Brian referred to Kevin Owens as the ice cream champ. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that, and it got him blocked on Twitter. And me and Bullock had a lot of fun with that. And we're gonna get to that in a minute when Bullock comes in. But yeah, I had to lighten the mood.
Yeah, that was actually my uncle.
Wait a minute. Did he legitly go on Twitter to Kevin Owens' page and call him the ice cream champ?
No, that was my uncle.
Uncle Brian.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Your uncle actually went to his Twitter account, to Kevin Owens' Twitter account, and legitimately did that?
And he got blocked.
Well, gee, I wonder why he got blocked. Straight up savage. Are you kidding me? First of all, your uncle has got a lot of balls to do that. I tip my cap to him for doing that, but Stimpy, you idiot! Why did you do that? For that, I hate to do this, but you know what? For doing that, I would never do this, but I'm gonna have to do this. Uncle Brian getting himself blocked on Twitter because of Kevin Owens? Uncle Brian? You just made the list!
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord.
All I can say is I hope he doesn't listen. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Oh, boy. But nonetheless, this was the segment of the night. It was the segment of the night. And yes, I had a lot of fun as the heel commentator doing that. And especially the A in English part. Because, yes, he does sound like Robert Goulet and Luciano Pavarotti. I mean, that's another one of my proverbs there. So, no question about it. So, I had to bring a little fun in there because I was sensing a little bit of some negativity there. So, I wanted to get that out of the way. So, all right. That's how you do it. You gotta lighten the mood. So that's what I simply did. So and besides, that's what Bullock and I were doing a lot of during Owens promo. I mean, because Michael Bullock and I, this has been a staple of ours for the last year or so since we've been doing SmackDown, Raw chats, or what have you. Anytime Kevin Owens has been on, Michael Bullock has absolutely gone off the deep end on this guy. Honestly, he rips him. But we're definitely going to get a Kevin Owens Shane O'Mac fight seriously down the road. And, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say here, except it was the segment of the night. And, you know, Corbin ruined that Dillinger and Styles match. I mean, that could have been a hell of a lot of fun. I agree with that, Matt, 100%. And as far as this goes, I mean, yeah, cut that out. Don't even bother with the match with Zayn in English. Although the only real highlight of that match, honestly, was when Sami Zayn did Bullock's favorite move. You know what I'm talking about, Bullock. What did he do? Your favorite move, Bullock?
A Tope con Hilo!
Tope con Hilo, mamma mia. So that's all I can say there. So segment of the night, I mean, and Bullock, boy, oh boy, it seems like every time Kevin Owens goes on a promo, whether he's going off on the deep end or whatever, you always rip into the guy, and we always have a lot of fun with this. So Bullock, our latest escapade, how did this come off here? I mean, we had a lot of fun with this, especially going back and forth, ripping Kevin Owens, and especially the Uncle Brian ice cream champ joke.
Yeah, I think this was definitely the segment of the night, and yeah, I mean Kevin Owens going on a pissy tirade. I mean, yeah, ripping Shane McMahon, I do agree with that, but I mean, even though I do watch both shows, and especially SmackDown Live, so I take it seriously when I mean, for Kevin Owens to rip on SmackDown Live and say it's a joke that this whole Land of Opportunity thing is a bunch of phony baloney. You, my friend, are the ultimate. You are the biggest stupid idiot muttonhead that I have ever seen. For you to diss Michael Fletcher's show, I mean, it's just a disgrace. So I'm gonna have to do something as well. Hey Fletch, you want to know what happens when somebody disses your show, SmackDown Live?
What happens?
Do you really want to know what happens?
I really want to know. What happens, Bullock?
I do.
Kevin Owens, you just made the list. Yeah, so get the you know what out with that nonsense. You pissy little crybaby. Yeah, so the segment I thought was good, and definitely was the segment of the night. Yeah, the match I don't really want to get into. I mean, the only thing good about it, well, I just mentioned, was Sami Zayn doing the Tope con Hilo. So nothing else for me to say. I'm just gonna move on.
All right, guys. So we're gonna move on. Obviously, you've already made it very clear that this was a throwout. So we're gonna go on and the next thing we had was versus the Usos, and the winner of that fight gets to name the stipulation for the SmackDown Tag Team title match, a rematch. As many of you guys know, has indeed has implemented their rematch clause, so that means they will fight for the titles again. However, this time around, it will only be Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston that's going to be fighting, because last night at a house show, there was a genuine, legit knee injury on Xavier Woods. As you guys know, he was definitely not at 100%. He did come out with a knee brace on and with the thing saying, "I'm sore." Yes, he did suffer a knee injury. However, thank God and praise the Lord on this one, it was not structurally damaged. It's a sprained knee. So sprained knee. There was no ligament damage. He did not tear the kneecap. They're just telling him he's just got to be out of action for a little bit. So he's not going to wrestle. He's just going to do some rehab, whatnot, and then maybe we'll get an opportunity, to see what happens to him. Probably in the upcoming weeks. So until then, it was that match, which was the New Day versus the Usos. Usos wins it. They get the opportunity to name the stipulation, which they do. And they have now announced that it is going to be them versus the New Day in a street fight for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That is going to be really interesting to watch. Finally, something legitimate. You do a street fight, that means no rules, anything goes. I like that. I think that's a good match. So far for this fight of the night, I mean, this is all right. This is about maybe 2 stars, 2.25. I'll give that. Yeah, I think the fight could have gone a little more longer, but I mean, I'll give it for what it's worth. Not bad. Anthony Florio, come on in, my friend. It is all yours.
The only nitpick I have about this is, why do they keep giving away New Day and Uso matches on TV, on free TV? I mean, it was nothing near the match they had at SummerSlam, which was epic, but they really risk burning people out if they aren't already. I mean, that's my only little nitpick there. But other than that, it was a solid match, though. 2 to 2.25 stars. I'll give you that. Maybe even 2.5 for the effort, because there was some good action throughout. I would probably say maybe the second best fight of the night. And street fight rules, yeah. I can definitely get with that. I'm guessing SmackDown Live is where we're going to get it. I don't know if they're going to want to wait until October the 8th for that, because that is the next SmackDown pay-per-view, which is Hell in a Cell. So at the brand new Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Rock City, Michigan. So we'll see what happens. But 2 to 2.25 stars, second best fight of the night for me. So Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, I'm going to give it about 2 to 2.25 stars as well. And the second best fight of the night, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, it was good for what it was worth. And yeah, street fight. Pretty interesting to see what happens when. It'll be interesting to see how the New Day can handle a street fight. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Pretty much touched on it. So 2.25 stars. Dee Woodson, I give it to you. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I lost internet connection, so I did not get to hear anything that y'all said. So,
This is the Usos and the New Day, and the winner gets to choose the stipulation.
Yeah, I'll give it maybe 2.25 stars. That was a pretty good match, but you know, am kind of getting tired of seeing the two of them, the two teams fight, and hopefully, you know, we won't have this too much longer on SmackDown and just move on to having this match on the pay-per-view, get it over with, and getting new contenders for the title or whatever they're going to do with this, because it's getting old having the same guys fight over and over and over again. So not much more I had to say about it, so let's move on.
All right, and the next thing we had was you don't have to talk about this, so I'm just gonna save you guys on this one. There was a couple of things for the women's division. First off, a backstage interview. James Ellsworth is off Dasha Fuentes. I mean, okay, Ellsworth. One thing to be on SmackDown Live, but when you get rid of my favorite announcer so that you can interview Carmella, I am going to flip the hell out. That's like if you would have done that to Charlie Caruso, Florio probably would have had a cow and a half. You are really pushing me to that edge. And so, anyway, Carmella said that she wasn't going to tell him anything because you did kind of backfire my game plan. Then Natalya came out saying that, you know, she was lucky that Ellsworth stooched her off because she would have become the female Baron Corbin at that moment. Oh, ouch, bang, burn on that. Then she's like, well, they had a match next week, so keep the belt warm for her. Then Naomi showed up and said, you know what, in 2 weeks, I'm implementing my rematch clause. So get ready, my love. So think about this. Carmella versus Natalya. I'm guessing it's a non-title fight, but in 2 weeks, legitimate title match on SmackDown Live. Naomi implements her rematch clause. She's going after Natalya in 2 weeks. So, I think where is it going to be in 2 weeks? I'm going to have to check it out. But that's sitting in 2 weeks. You guys got yourself a SmackDown Women's title fight, man. Congratulations. All right. Then we was Tamina against a local wrestler, a jobber, crushes her in 32 seconds. Fine, whatever. I'm not going to say anything about it. Then we had the return of the Fashion Files, season 2. Oh God, I was so happy for this. Breezango, saying how much they enjoy their vacation, but Kron doesn't take a vacay. True. So get back into uniforms. We got a new mission. Blacklight is pointing to some arrows, referencing about Shakespeare. 8 in English. Put 2 and 2 together. All right. So what does that mean for them? Well, we'll find out. To be continued. Now on to something that was legit. The main event of the evening for SmackDown Live: Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal and Rusev. The winner of the bout was actually Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. It was the Kinshasa on Rusev for the 1, 2, 3. Everybody was all happy. Everybody's like, yeah, yay, yay. The faces get the revenge from earlier in the night and the whole 9 yards. Well, guess what? Randy Orton did something a little bit shocking to us all. He gave Shinsuke Nakamura an RKO out of nowhere. Why? Why, Randy? Why did you do that? I can't believe it. Why did you take out the King of the Strong style? Next week on SmackDown Live, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, Randy Orton versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the winner becomes the #1 contender for the WWE title. Are you kidding me? Okay, I know it's free TV. I know it's on the USA Network. But for those fans out there in Des Moines, Iowa, I think that's what Anthony said it was going to be at Des Moines, Iowa next week.
No. Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But anyway, out there, and I do believe there is still tickets out there for Sioux Falls. And I'll say this. Shut up and take my money. Go on the Ticketmaster right now. Go on to WWE.com/tickets. Get your tickets now, SmackDown Live. You do not want to miss this main event. Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, first time ever. Could it be just as epic as Cena and Nakamura? I mean, now you're talking about another legend in the game against Nakamura. I mean, I'm already getting goosebumps about this. I'm getting jacked up. Michael Bullock, I believe it's you who leads off here. So, give me your thoughts, my man. Give me your thoughts about the main event, but more importantly, Nakamura and Orton next week. Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, all I could say is this to me was definitely the fight of the night right here. I thought this was a good match for what it was. I mean, man, I loved how. I love, of course, when Nakamura hits the Kinshasa. I mean, I definitely get excited when that happens. And obviously, they want to. And then the big surprise, of course, like you said, Randy Orton with the RKO out of nowhere on Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, holy crap. I mean, this is definitely another good build to their big matchup next week when Randy Orton battles Shinsuke Nakamura, and whoever wins that will become the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And I'm going to go on the record right now. Nakamura is winning this one. No doubt about it in my mind. So, as far as the what I'm going to give for the rating of this fight, I'm going to give it about maybe 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on it. So, nothing else to say. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll go about 3 stars on it. It was a good match. Good way to end SmackDown. As for the match next week, I can almost guess that Rusev was probably going to interject somehow in the match. So, not much more I have to say about it. So I'll toss it to Florio.
Fight of the night for me. It was basically a boilerplate house show style tag match. It was entertaining, but the real purpose was the post-match surprise for Nakamura to set up the #1 contenders match next week. I'm cautiously optimistic about that match. I mean, it's almost 50-50 as to whether Orton will be motivated by Nakamura's pace enough to put on a quality match, or if Nakamura will slow down to match Orton's tendencies. For whatever it's worth, no matter what, the last 5 minutes of the match will be excellent. And yeah, we'll see if it ends up delivering just like the Cena match did last month. But here, I got to say, I would probably give this about 3.25 stars. To me, it was the fight of the night, far and away. I mean, out of all the matches, this is the only one that really, honestly, truly delivered anything good. The other matches were just sort of there, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, 3 to 3.25 stars, and I'm not surprised to hear MF go crazy. I mean, I knew you'd be freaking out, MF. I mean, come on. These are your two favorites. Randy Orton, the Viper, because of those RKOs out of nowhere. I know how much you love those. But then again, you've been a fan of his for the last, 12, 13 years, ever since, they started pushing him as a main event talent. And Nakamura, oh, come on. And here's a guy in MF who had a tear in his eye when Nakamura made his main roster debut after WrestleMania. So I can only imagine how emotionally charged and involved and invested MF is going to be when his two favorites right now, Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, battle it out for the right to face Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship. And little spoiler alert here, Shinsuke Nakamura will win this match because I read a dirt sheet saying that they want to do Mahal and Nakamura again, only this time it's going to be on Sunday night, October the 8th, at the brand new Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Rock City, Michigan. Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship inside Hell in a Cell. Move on.
Actually, we're going to get them sooner. September 18th, Osaka, Japan. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal for the WWE title. So, yeah, there is a couple of dirt sheets. I know about I heard about that one, but this one, I don't know if you guys actually heard, but WWE is announcing a special event in Osaka, Japan that's going to be exclusively for the WWE Network. A WWE Network special from Osaka, Japan. I think I heard it was September 18th. I can't confirm. I need to double check that.
That's a Monday night. I'm going to have to look into that.
I believe because that might be either that or it might be September 16th. I think it's September 16th. I stand corrected. I know that would be a Saturday night. So September 16th, Osaka, Japan, Nakamura versus Mahal for the WWE title. All right? So, with that said, yes, 3 stars, fight of the night. Let's get into the overall review. So, whoever wants to go for it, take it for a spin. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Well, I'm going to be the man who tells it like it is right here and now, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I'm sorry, MF. This was not another good show. I'm sorry. That main event was fine, but for whatever it's worth, this show was just kind of there. Kevin Owens' freak out might have been the best moment this week, followed closely by the promise shown by Benjamin and Gable and AJ Styles' future open challenges. But none of the matches really delivered with the exception of the main event. But other than that, those matches, like I said, were just sort of there. I'm sorry. This was basically another 50-50 show for me. I can only give this about a 5 out of 10 if I'm going to be real honest with you. And it's just going to show right now, I hate to say this, but SmackDown Live right now is a little bit on the decline right now. And Monday Night Raw is a little bit on the rise because you've seen what Raw's been doing lately. Raw's been putting on some kick-ass shows as of late. And especially what happened at SummerSlam with those 2 unbelievable matches that they had, that Universal 4-Way and that tag team title match. Those were absolute show stealers, both of them. And SmackDown didn't really have that many moments at SummerSlam, with the exception of that Uso New Day tag title fight. Because you remember Cena buried Corbin and then Orton buried Rusev in 6 seconds. So, yeah. And then Nakamura and Mahal was a complete and utter disappointment. But who knows? When they meet again, whether it's Osaka, Japan, or Hell in a Cell or whatever, I think that will be better. I'll give you that. But, yeah. Not a good show by any means. The 5 out of 10, they're slowly on the decline, and Raw is slowly on the rise. You want me to tell it like it is? I just did. Whoever wants it next, it's yours.
Well, I'm gonna take it right here. You know what? I'm gonna give it about a 6 out of 10. I mean, it was it was good. I mean, good, but definitely not great. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could some of the matches, but I mean, some of the things we had was still the storyline progression, which really helped out. So yeah, so 6 out of 10, and Florio, I'm sorry to say this, but I got to disagree with you. I mean, I'm not going to go there yet with it. I mean, give me a couple more weeks because I want to see if SmackDown Live can rebound. But if that's the case and Raw continues to do well, then and only then I'll probably agree with you on that. But until then, I have to disagree with you on it because remember, in my honest opinion, even though I love both shows, SmackDown Live to me is still the A show. And until we get a pretty good long string of disappointing shows, my mind cannot and will not be changed. Whoever wants it next, it's yours.
I'll give it probably about a 5.5 to 6. It was a fairly good show. A lot of cutouts, but they still are the number one when it comes to storyline progression. And but right now, yeah, they're going through a slump, and hopefully they can turn it around. So not much more I had to say about it. So good night, guys, and hopefully, with my new work schedule, I will see you next week, but I'm not too sure yet. So,
All right, very well. I'm gonna go with Bullock. I'm at that 6 out of 10 range, and I, I get it. I understand. Normally, at this point, SmackDown kind of is a little. They're going through a rough patch right now. Um, it seems like right now, normally WWE takes a little bit of an off period here before they start cranking up again for bigger events. And right now, I'm going to openly admit it. SmackDown has been a little bit underwhelmed because, the star power is not there, unlike with Raw. Raw is supposed to dominate. They're supposed to be, the better show. And it looks like they're starting to get all of that getting there. They're starting to click. They're all starting to gel and mash as a unit. But with SmackDown Live, of course, there is a little frustration going on because you're like, man, what's going on? Why are we not delivering? We should be a lot better than where we are right now. So, I mean, it's been very interesting to say the very least. So, where do we go from here? Who knows? But hopefully SmackDown Live turns it around and, starts to, I want to say, put the foot down sooner rather than later and, start dominating because they're going to need to. Raw is starting to pick up steam a little bit. Week in and week out, they're starting to pick up that momentum. And if you're if you're SmackDown Live, that clock is ticking, guys. We got it. We got to start getting it before we start losing this. So let's turn it around. All right, let's get into it. Basically, this is the biggest event of Mexico. It was Triplemania. Went down on Saturday night. From the Arena Ciudad de Mexico in Mexico City, Mexico, and for the first time ever, exclusively and free on Twitch.com. TwitchTV.com had the event, and this was actually a very good event, to say the very least. It started with an 8-person tag team match. We had was Hernandez, La Hydra, Mamba, and Mini Psycho Clown, and they went up against Big Meanie, Dinastista, Estrada Divina, and Mascarisa de Bones. And the winner of the bout was La Hydra, Mamba, Mini Psycho Clown, and Hernandez in 6 minutes and 42 seconds. All right. Decent fight, decent match. Not bad to say the very least, but this was a pretty good match to set everything up. So what we had next was let me see. All right. So what they had next, this is the one that the whole world was talking about. Aquino Hamdaya, Lady Santi, Rosemary from GFW, Global Force Wrestling, and TNA, and the reigning and defending Reina de Reinas champions, Sexy Star, in a 4-way match for the Reina de Reinas championship title. Sexy Star was the winner. She won it in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. However, the reason why she won the match is the reason why a lot of people got upset. During the match, she deliberately injured Rosemary. She put her in a cross arm breaker, made Rosemary tap out, and the fight was officially declared over. However, she went back, re-implemented that hold, and refused to let go. She broke Rosemary's arm in the process. A lot of wrestlers and fans around the world has gone on a ballistic blitz on Sexy Star, nuclear heat, to the point that she has been Colin Kaepernick. No company at this moment is willing to work with Sexy Star ever again because of what happened in this event. Now, I've gotten to see the video because it's been posted on YouTube.com and many other sites. And I am appalled, I am disgusted, and I am ashamed. And I feel so bad for Rosemary, and my heart breaks for her. Luckily, it's not a serious injury, but my thoughts are out with her right now. Thank God she doesn't need surgery on the arm or anything like that. She just needs to have it rehabbed. And I am very upset with Sexy Star because I think this was the most unprofessional thing she could have ever done in professional wrestling. When, again, I know that velvet rope, I know that Sting, and the one thing that everybody stresses about when it comes to wrestling is to protect yourself and protect your worker, your fellow partner. It doesn't matter who you're wrestling or whatnot. You do not force an injury or try to injure a person in no circumstances whatsoever. The minute you break that trust, the minute you break that, I want to say unwritten rule in professional wrestling, that is uncalled for, unfathomable, and on top of that, that is total garbage. I do have a statement that was made by Rosemary. She did this on her Twitter. I like to speak for this right now. So just bear with me just a moment, and then I'll let Anthony Florio get his thoughts about this moment as well, because I know he said he wanted to get in. And this is what Rosemary said, and I quote, "Let me make this perfectly clear. If you take liberties with someone's body when you're trying to, when they are giving it to you and trusting you to keep them safe, this is not tough. You are an asshole and you don't belong in the business. Sexy Star decided to do that just that this weekend at Triplemania. And while I have remained quiet on social media until I was more calm to address the situation, I have now been informed that she is telling people that it was a work. Uh, you are all now being informed are being informed that Sexy Star is a liar. She was a liar in the locker room when she was forced to apologize instead of cook up some bullshit excuse that she didn't know. She is a liar now. You know, if I am uh, tranquil on someone's arm, you know an armbar is a real and dangerous hold. The only reason your face is not broken right now is because a little voice inside my head, as I lay on my apron, kept repeating, don't go to a Mexican prison. Thanks, Damon." However, turning to positives, the outreach from the wrestling community has been incredible. I'm overwhelmed with how much love I feel right now from friends, fans, and the people who I've yet to meet in this amazing business. We are a family and we protect our own. If you violate that, then you are not welcome here. I want to thank the AAA's locker room, multiple people who came up to me and saying how sorry and disgusted they were. Thank you, Hama and Shayna, who also had to deal with the bullshit from Sexy Star during that match. Thank you, Vampiro, for professionally trying to calm a volatile situation, though, as you know, once the excuses started pouring out of Sexy Star's mouth in the lieu of the apology, it was over. Thank you to the amazing Global Force Wrestling locker room, both present that night and not. I have so much support from everyone, and the talent, crew, and office have all reached out to me to show me that love and support. Thank you all. One other thing that we saw was one company called EWE, which is women's wrestling. These are one of the promoters that Sexy Star was supposed to be a part of, and they've announced that they're not going to book her. It says, due to the value of the safety of your talent, now is the time to cancel Sexy Star booking from your talent from your shows. They go on and say, after seeing what happened to Rosemary last night at AAA's Triplemania, I'm outraged. Our generation needs to band together and end shit like this once and for all. We need the time to stop the bullying, hazing, and garbage behavior in the sport that is predetermined. How can people take these things so serious, like when in the universe of undead wizards, cowboys, dancing dinosaurs, and anything else in our imaginations can come up with? Our generation can finally change things. We can be the generation to change things for the better. We can be the generation who stands up to people's rights. I'm sickened and disappointed at the business I have more than anything. This needs to end now. Hashtag for our generations, by our generation. A couple of other people says, this is actually from Sammy Callahan, who's actually a professional wrestler. She says, the more I think about this, the madder I get. Our generation can end things like this. Let's start a revolution to change things. And then, this was at Wrestle Circus. We kept our mouths shut when Sexy Star was unprofessional in the ring, and I regret it now. There is no place in our business for her. End quote. That's just some of the talent, some of the people. I know Talia Vicarin was very vocal about Sexy Star. I know some other people were very vocal about what happened, to say the very least. So, Anthony Florio, I know you say you wanted to put your 2 cents in here. So, my friend, I know how angry you were because this affected one of your own. You normally cover Impact Wrestling, Global Force Wrestling, Impact, and Rosemary is one of your mega stars on that show. I know you got in wind of this news, and I don't know if you actually got to see the clip of the injury itself, but I know you said that you wanted an opportunity to talk about this. Anthony, the floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead.
I'm gonna make it short and sweet and to the point, MF. Sexy stars should be banned for life. You're responsible for your fellow worker in the ring, so to just break their arm in the middle of the ring and then come up with a million BS excuses rather than apologize is simply disgusting and vile. I mean, honestly, back in November, Lucha Underground, you remember they had this Azteca Warfare 3. Sexy Star went on to win that and became the World Heavyweight Champion. At that night, on that night, I'll admit it, I was happy for her. I was genuinely happy for her. Well, not anymore. I once followed her on Twitter. I don't do that anymore. I unfollowed her. And it just goes to show that, Bullock and I, when we do our SmackDown chats, we usually, me being a heel commentator, I always like to joke about, you're not in this business to make friends. You're in it to win money. You're in it to win championships and make money. And that's what I say as a heel commentator. But I'm not going to be a heel commentator here. This is where I'm going to be that rare babyface commentator here. And absolutely disgusting and vile, like I said. And she should be banned for life. She shouldn't be allowed to wrestle anywhere ever again. And yeah, praise God that Rosemary didn't come out of that as banged up as bad as. I'm glad that Rosemary made it, and she didn't get too seriously injured. I swear to God, if she had, I would have really had gone off. I was gonna go off, but after you gave us that good news, MF, that Rosemary's injury is not as serious as we thought. I'm very happy about that. I mean, Rosemary has come a long way, and she was a former Knockouts champion. She had some very good matches, especially with Mia Yim, aka Jade. When Jade was in GFW, of course, she's now Mia Yim in the Mae Young Classic. Of course, the first four episodes of that are on now. And yeah, any respect I have for Sexy Star is beyond out the window. I mean, absolutely disgusting and vile. I mean, I understand, you're in the business to win championships and make money in the whole 9 yards. But honestly, I mean, that's taking it a step further. That's overstepping the boundary. And, you're responsible for your fellow worker in there. And for her to go into business for herself, well, I got a major problem with that. I got a big time problem with that. And short and sweet and to the point, she should be banned for life. Period. And a statement and a quotation. MF, let's just move on. Or please continue on with the Triplemania recap.
All right. With that said, the next thing we had was a 4-way match for the AAA World Tag Team titles. Psycho Circus, Monster Clown, and Murder Clown. They went up against the reigning champions, which was Dark Scortoya and Dark Cavallo, against Aerostar and Drago from Lucha Underground, and from Team GFW from actually from Anthony's company from Global Force, DJ Z and Andrew Everett was a part of this show. But when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout and new AAA World Tag Team Champions, it was indeed Psycho Circus, Murder Clown, and Monster Clown winning the belts. They take the titles. Good fight, good match. All right. The next thing we had was the Tormento Triplemania 25. Now, this was full of lumberjacks and a whole bunch of different people in this match. And this was basically, I want to say, it was basically 3-man teams, a whole bunch of teams from all around the world. You had, oh my God, you had Agarnis, Bengala, and La Parca versus Australian Suicide, Fabi Apache, and Pepinera Escalata. I know if you guys have seen Lucha Underground, Pepinera Escalata has been on the show. Team X AAA, which was Heavy Metal, Pedra Morgan, and Ivano 4. Los OGTs, which is Envino, Chessman, and Superfly. Los Guapo, which was Denise, Scorpio Jr., and Zabalo. Team Global Force Wrestling, Bobby Lashley, Moose, and Jeff Jarrett. Los Vipers, which was Hanista, Mascarcito, and Psychosis. Mexican Power, Crazy Boy, Lesla, and Nino. Hesberg Yica, representing the Los Perros del Mal, Joe Leader, Halloween, and Mr. Aglada, and then the Latis or the Legends, Blue Demon Jr., El Comadre, and El Intercanable. And the winner of the bout, when it was all said and done, was Team La Parca, Aganis, Bengal, and La Parca himself. They win the match in almost a half an hour. This was chaotic, man. I mean, once you didn't understand the rules of the fight, you kind of were like, what the hell is this type of match? But once you finally got the hang of it, it was all good for me. So, no, solid match, nothing more to say. So, we got a next fight, which was a street fight. Pagan versus El Macias, Judas Macias. No contest, NA rating. So basically that gets thrown out. All right. Co-main event of the evening. This was historic. This was a mega fight in the grand scheme of things, and this was history making as it stands. Because for the first time ever, 3 championships were on the line in one massive fight. In a 3-way, tables, ladders, and chairs for the AAA Mega Copion, which is their World Heavyweight Championship, their Light Heavyweight Championship, and Cruiserweight Championship of the world. AAA's Latin American champion Johnny Mundo versus the AAA Cruiserweight champion El Hijo de la Farmacia versus AAA's Mega Campeón, Mega Champion Tejano Jr., the winner of the bout. And now, the man who is in possession of all 3 titles, Johnny Mundo, has made history. He is a triple champion. He is still the AAA Latin American champion, the new AAA Cruiserweight champion of the world, but more importantly, he is the new Mega Campeón, the nuevo Mega Campeón de Físico Completo, the new heavyweight champion of the world. It's Johnny Mundo. He has won all the belts. Oh my God, what a fight. Fight of the night, at least 4 stars for me. This was epic. Go out of your way to see this match. Main event, a Triplemania, was a lucha de aparatis, a mask versus mask match. It was Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Psycho Clown from, and when it was all said and done, Psycho Clown won the match, which means that for the first time ever, we got to see who Dr. Wagner was under the mask, and the man that, and I'll say it, the man that he is Juan Manuel Gonzalez Beron. He is Dr. Wagner Jr. He is, I mean, you want to talk about a legend. He's been wrestling under that name since 1987, and now at the age of 52, he has officially retired from the world of professional wrestling. This was such a sad moment. And for him, this is a historic moment for him as well, because he is a two-time Mega Campeon. He's also a light heavyweight champion of the world as well. And not only that, but he also is a former, he's done a lot of great moments in his career. For the first time ever, he loses the mask. And now that he's lost the mask, he will never, ever be able to don the Dr. Wagner mask ever again. And he must, and what I've heard, and this was actually confirmed, that he is retired from professional wrestling because of this as well. It's unbelievable. He debuted in 1985 and has wrestled for now, I want to say, over 20, almost, I believe it's 30-something year. I mean, over 30 years. He fought for 32 years with that mask. And to unmask and show the world what that is himself, it is the most heartbreaking moment. And in wrestling, in Mexican wrestling, the mask is your identity. When you lose the mask, you lose your soul. That's how crushing this loss is to him. 32 years in the business, to do what he did, my friend, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future career. Triplemania 25, like I said, it was a 50-50 show. I'll give this at least maybe 5 stars minimum. I didn't think it was a great show. It was marred with a lot of controversy in this night and that event. I really got nothing more to say, guys. So we're just going to close the show. Thursday night, 10:30 Eastern. Anthony Florio, myself, and Mike Bullock, we're back at it again. This time, we're going to do week 1 of college football. That's right. College football Thursdays are back, the season premiere. Then Friday is NFL Friday, but this time it's the preview. We're going to be going division by division and giving you our thoughts about the upcoming NFL season. And then Monday night, again, another edition of the Ridiculously Raw. And then 1 week from tonight, right back here for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. So with that said, thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Dee Woodson. Derek Ferreira, you're always awesome. The producers, you guys rock as well. Until then, I'm Michael Flecha. Thank you so much for watching this. Leave a comment at the bottom. Like the video. Share with all your friends on all social media platforms. And until then, have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Bye-bye.